Guys, so today I've got my, I guess, kind of yearly updated products I'm no longer buying video. I've done a few of these on my channel in the past, and my last one was about a year ago, so I figured it was time for an updated version. I've got a list of 8 items that I've stopped buying. So these are just some things that I kind of realized at some point they don't really fit in my beauty routine. Maybe they're not really necessary, or they just don't work for me and it doesn't make sense for me to keep purchasing them. So it's a great way for me to kind of save some money and reduce the amount of stuff that I'm bringing into my life. If you're new to my channel, welcome in. I'm so excited to have you. I like to focus a lot on mindful beauty consumption. So I'd love to have you subscribe if that sounds like something you would enjoy, but let's go ahead and get into the products that I no longer purchase. So the first item that I'm no longer buying is dry shampoo. I have just had to accept that I do not like dry shampoo and it does not work for my hair, it doesn't work for my scalp. I have a very sensitive scalp and I have found that really I just can't put a ton of product onto my scalp. It's bad news. It causes buildup, it just flares up any irritation that I'm having. And on top of that, dry shampoo, to me, it's just wholly unnecessary. If my hair is dirty, I wash it. That's my rule of thumb. But according to my dermatologist and according to my own experience, it's best for me, at least for my hair type, my scalp type, to wash my hair every day if I can. I know that's not like the trendy thing to do. Everybody's trying to like train their hair so they can go longer between washes, which if that works for you, that's great. That does not work for my hair, and to me, dry shampoo, it just makes my hair dirtier and greasier, and it's a recipe for itchy, inflamed scalp. So I don't buy it anymore. I got rid of some of the ones that I had before, especially aerosol dry shampoos. Those are the worst because those tend to just have the most like drying ingredients and like fragrance and things like that. I do have one sort of like powder dry shampoo that I've had for a while from Acure. That's the best kind I've found that doesn't irritate my scalp, but I still hardly ever use it because I just find it unnecessary. I'd rather just wash my hair when it's dirty. So I have that one. Once I use it up, I probably won't purchase another one of those like powder dry shampoos unless I'm in like an emergency situation and my hair is like, I can't wash it and I need something like that maybe, but otherwise it's just an unnecessary item for me to buy. While we're on the topic of hair products, another hair product that I have stopped buying is scalp scrubs. I went through like a year or two phase where I was really into scalp scrubs, and they can be nice. They're not the worst thing ever, but I've just kind of realized they're unnecessary. I do have quite an oily scalp, and I am prone to dandruff, which is really annoying. My heart goes out to you if you also deal with that issue. It's very uncomfortable and annoying, and it just makes you feel self-conscious. But for a while there, I thought scalp scrubs were a good thing for that because, you know, they really help get rid of buildup and all that stuff. But now I've kind of gone a while without using a scalp scrub, and my hair is fine. I've found like a good shampoo routine for me, and I think it's like once a week using a good medicated shampoo that's specifically for dandruff, and then the rest of my washes just, you know, using kind of like a gentle, I've been using the Garnier Whole Blends Gentle Shampoo, really like that one, and trying to wash my hair every day, if not every other day, just as often as I can. That seems to be doing the trick just fine, and I haven't even had a need for a scalp scrub. And I also worry that the scrubs could cause breakage because, you know, they're kind of abrasive, and I don't know, I just don't want to be using such harsh things on my hair and my scalp. So no more scalp scrubs. I have like 3 of them because I stocked up. I really used to love the Zion Health scalp scrubs, and I stocked up on like 3 of them a while ago. I don't know, I might just use them up as body scrubs because I do love using body scrubs. I know those are not necessary either, but I just enjoy using them. So I'll probably use them up for that purpose, but I think I'm done. I think I've moved on from the scalp scrub phase that I was in for a little while there. All right, here's a very specific makeup one that I have kind of moved away from buying, and it is eyeshadow palettes that are overly brown. So I do consider myself a neutral lover when it comes to eyeshadow. I really do like wearing neutral eyeshadow looks. Lately I've been more into colorful shadows, but when I'm wearing neutral and like soft eyeshadow looks, I'm typically going for like maybe a soft gold on the lid, like a rosy mauve kind of crease color, maybe taupes, but I really don't wear brown eyeshadow very often. I don't know, I feel like that's been the case for a while, but I only recently realized that. And so now I know, like, I do tend to be kind of drawn in to neutral eyeshadow palettes, but I've got a few good staple neutral palettes in my collection, and now I've kind of been staying away from neutral palettes that have a lot of brown in them, because I feel like, as long as I have a good, like, maybe light to medium brown for the crease, that's probably the only brown I'm gonna wear if it's in a palette. I don't need a palette that's like half brown. So yeah, that's kind of a realization that I came to recently. And also, I don't know, for some reason, at least with my skin tone, I find like soft colors easier to blend into my skin tone than brown. So go figure. Another item I no longer buy is loofahs, like shower loofahs. I have this like silicone body scrubber that I got. Ever since I bought this, I haven't bought a loofah. And I'm talking about not like actual real loofahs, like the natural loofahs. I'm talking about, I used to purchase the like mesh, dollar store loofahs you could buy anywhere. That's what I used to use to wash my body. And, I was kind of realizing after a while, like, I mean, logically, I know that those harbor bacteria, they hold a lot of water in them, and, you have to replace them. I guess they say like once a month. I would try to stretch it out longer, but that's just, I don't know, it's just gross. And so I've stopped using those. I purchased this like silicone body scrubber from this brand called Boie, B-O-I-E is the name of the brand. I've had this for like 2 years and it's still going strong. It hasn't gotten gross or anything. But honestly, now I just use my hands more often than I even use this. So I think this brand actually does have like a recycling program where you can send it back and they'll recycle it for you. So that's nice. It's a nice option if you're looking to switch away from a loofah. I do find that it doesn't quite lather as well as a loofah, so that's kind of the trade-off. Especially with bar soaps, you have to kind of like keep rubbing it on there and it just gets kind of annoying. So I just use my hands now. I feel like that works just fine for me. And then, maybe once a week I'll use a body scrub to really like exfoliate. But I don't find the need for loofahs. And I've never really been a washcloth person, at least as long as I can remember. I feel like washcloths are just kind of gross. Like, they just get so much water in them and they tend to get like a gross smell because of all the water, and I would just rather use my hands. So next thing I've stopped buying, I stopped buying these for a while and then I started again, and now I've stopped, I think for good, and I've stopped buying like liquid body wash, and I think I've completely switched over to bar soaps. And the reason why I switched over to bar soaps is just because it's less plastic packaging waste. It's kind of an easy switch for me. I have to be honest, I do still prefer liquid body wash. I don't know why, I just find it more enjoyable, but I feel like it's a small sacrifice. And there are some, I've been trying to find like more like really nice smelling, luxurious soap bars so that I can feel more excited to use them. And my favorite brand so far is Lave soap. They're like a small woman-owned business. I'll link them below, but I'll use any bar soap, but I have been trying to get more into like the more fun, like scented ones, because that's what makes me, I don't know, I like for my shower experience to feel very luxurious. Okay, something that I've kind of recently stopped buying is makeup primer. I have kind of just realized that they're very hard to fit into my routine because a lot of makeup primers are really just like glorified moisturizers, or at least they have like a similar texture to a moisturizer. The way that I do my routine is I do like my skincare, maybe like a toner, moisturizer, and then I put on my sunscreen as the last step of my skincare routine before makeup. And I'll typically like let that sink in for like at least 10 minutes before I apply my makeup. But then I feel weird going over the sunscreen with a primer. And so I guess I could put my primer under my sunscreen, but that is kind of redundant because I've already applied a moisturizer. And there are primers that I like I really like the NYX High Glass primer, and I still have that in my collection, and I'll use it up. I'll probably use it under my sunscreen just so that I don't have to worry about it potentially interfering with the SPF. But from here on out, I just kind of feel like primers are pointless. I've never really found a primer that makes like a huge difference. I do tend to really like hydrating luminous primers, like the CoverGirl Go Glow one that I had last year. I love that one, used it all the way up. I guess if I had a primer like that I really liked, I would just use it underneath my sunscreen, but I just kind of realized they're not necessary. Like if I have a good moisturizer and a good sunscreen that I like, that's a good enough makeup primer for me. So it's just one less thing that I need to buy, and I'll probably just kind of use up the ones I have. The exception, I guess, would be like primers that are also sunscreens. Like I love the Milani SPF BFF primer, which has SPF 30 in it. So that would be that's a good sunscreen to wear underneath makeup specifically. So that would be like the one exception. But just like regular old primers, I'm kind of done with them. I think I'm just kind of done buying them. All right, a skincare product I've stopped buying is facial oils. I just don't like the feeling of a greasy oil sitting on my skin. There's something that I would only use at night anyway. I don't like to use any kind of oil-based product or facial oil, especially in the morning, because I worry that it could interfere with my sunscreen, because oil breaks down sunscreen. Like I use an oil cleanser to remove my sunscreen at the end of the day, so I just don't want to mess with that in the morning. At night, I would use it sometimes over my moisturizer, but I've just found that a good rich moisturizer is all I need. And I have relatively dry skin. Lately it's been, I don't know, lately it's been kind of oily-ish. Even like I think just because it's summer and it's so humid, but also kind of dry. Anyway, it's a confusing situation. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I've had dry skin for a while, or at least like bouts of dry skin, and oils, I just don't find them necessary. I don't feel like they've ever done that much for dryness. As long as I have a good moisturizer, that's all I need. Maybe, you know, you can mix it in with a moisturizer, but that's just unnecessary. Like if the moisturizer is good, it's good, and that's all I need. So again, one less thing for me to buy, saves me some money. All right, the last product I've stopped buying is liquid glitter eyeshadows. They're just kind of annoying to work with. I know like the Stila Glitter and Glows are really popular. I had like 3 of those last year that I was frantically trying to use up because they were all drying out at the same time. It was very stressful. Though I've just found that they dry out super quickly. I had an E.L.F. one at one point that I ended up decluttering just because, I don't know, I just don't use it enough, and it bothers me to have it in my collection knowing that it's like actively drying out and I'm not using it. And like maybe I'll use it once a month or so, but that's not enough to actually like go through it before it dries out. So I've just stopped buying them. I feel like there are so many beautiful eyeshadow formulas out there, like actual powder eyeshadows or even cream shadows that have a beautiful dimensional sparkly effect to them, that I just don't need liquid eyeshadows and liquid glitter shadows specifically. I feel like, you know, I'm not necessarily opposed to liquid shadows altogether. I'm just mainly talking about the glitter ones. And they're also hard to remove. I love glitter, don't get me wrong. Like, I think glitter can be beautiful, but just not in the form of a liquid shadow. So those are the 8 products that I'm no longer buying. I don't plan on ever buying any of these again. You know, maybe one day down the road I'll change my mind, or maybe a facial oil will come along and like change my life. Kind of doubt it though. So for now, these are products that I am not purchasing. I'd love to hear in the comments below any products that you have stopped buying. And otherwise, I'd love to see you again soon. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. I upload at least 3 videos a week, so I'd love to see you again soon. And hopefully I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.